Hello, and thanks for tuning in. On a weekend where we all would have hoped to be in Manchester watching our top athletes battle it out for Olympic spots for Tokyo 2020, instead we're going to bring you a totally unique event for our totally unique 2020. This is the Birmingham Track Elite Virtual Invitational Medley Relay. We're going to see 3 teams battle it out over 4 legs. A 2K, a 500 metres, a 1K, and then finally a 4K leg. Our teams are Birmingham Track Elite, LD Crew, and Team Thie. They're going to battle it out on their local venues for glory and bragging rights. There are a few simple but important rules for this event. Our competitors are not allowed pacemakers. All legs must be solo time trials. All the competitors have submitted their chosen courses to race director Jonny Currie to ensure they abide by the IAAF elevation guidelines and don't include the type of small looped routes that have wreaked havoc in this 2020 virtual season. Really looking forward to see how this action unfolds, and let's get started.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
So here we are, underway, first leg of the virtual medley relay, 2,000 metres. Off these lads go, just trying to hammer around these streets as fast as they can. So up in the top left-hand corner, we've got Birmingham Track Elite. They're being led off by Mike Ward. The lads today have decided to use Woodchester Road in Dorridge, as a suburb near Solihull. This is where they really think they can get some fast, clean running and clock their fastest times. So we've got Mike Ward, is a Cardiff AC athlete. Just recently returned some time in the NCA system at Bradley University in North Carolina. Mike's currently studying dentistry at the University of Birmingham, where he is a sports scholar. Mike's had a great winter. We saw him have a really wonderful breakthrough at the British Indoor Championships, narrowly getting a bronze medal. Really a wonderful day for him and making that transition into the senior ranks. He boasts PBs of 3:44 over 1500 and 7:57 over 3K. And Mike's just really trying to figure out whether 5K or 10K might be his best bet as he looks to move towards those senior international honours. So in the bottom left-hand corner, we bring you Team Thie. Their first leg runner is Tom Marshall, also of Cardiff AC, just like Mike, but obviously not on the same team today. Tom got a mixed relay gold medal at the European Cross Country Championships with Great Britain in San Marino in 2017. 2017 also saw Tom clock a fantastic 1500 metre PB of 3:37 that qualified him to go out to the Gold Coast and do the Commonwealth Games there for Wales. What a great year, and I'm sure Tom's really eyeing up Birmingham 2022 to make another Commonwealth appearance for Wales. Tom's been pretty active in lockdown. We've seen him do a 4:06 mile in the Bannister Virtual Mile, and a 2:24 1K in the BMC Virtual 1K. So he shouldn't be too rusty, and it might be quite exciting to see if he can convert those races into a really good 2K time today. We've also been told he is the lockdown quizmaster, so maybe he's been trying to keep Team Thie entertained on and off the training grounds during lockdown. So as you can see up in the top right hand corner, we've got LD Crew, and the LD Crew have been led off by Alex Brown. Alex is a Durham graduate looking to head to Loughborough next year for a master's. During lockdown, Alex has gained a silver medal in the virtual British University Championships in an unofficial 5K of 14:45, so he's in pretty good shape right now. Alex is also a Morpeth Harrier. Morpeth Harriers have got a great tradition of churning out really accomplished endurance runners. To mention a few, we've got Nick McCormack, who did the 5K at the 2012 Olympics, and Laura Waitman is an absolute regular in the GB scene for 1500 and 5K, and picking up lots of international medals. So while Alex might have the slowest PB out of the guys we've got on screen right now, I think today it's going to be really interesting to see really how important PBs are. I mean, are they really relevant in a scenario like this when you've got some solo time trials and you've got all the unknowns of how each of these athletes and each of these teams have coped with lockdown? You've got what everyone's going around going through in the world right now. You've got staying motivated and what facilities you can train at, and it's going to be really interesting to see how these guys have negotiated that and whether they've chosen the best location for their legs. You can see they've all seemed to have managed to choose some locations that are really quiet. It's perhaps a Greg's driver there, a bit confused why Tom Marshall's sprinting past him at full pelt. But it's going to be, I really hope none of these guys have any hiccups with traffic or pedestrians today. It'd be a shame to see that influence their times. But just to reiterate our format, so we've got our lead leg runners here battling way over a 2K. They are going to then pass on to their teammates to run a 500. Next up, we're going to see a 1K, and then we're going to finish up with a 4K leg. So these guys really look like they're going well, really pushing on. We're about 4 minutes into a leg that we would expect to take anywhere between, around 5.5 minute mark. Or we can see Tom Marshall nipping on and off the curb there. That's pretty bold when you're going at that speed with quite a lot of fatigue in your legs. Just another note to say that this isn't where our athletes would potentially have planned to be at this time of year. Many of them might have nipped off for a bit of warm weather training. Oh, another dodgy corner off Tom Marshall, who negotiated that really well. And another car for Tom Marshall is not having the best of luck on this leg. Let's hope that's it for him. But like I was saying, a lot of these athletes probably would have looked to spend some time away, either warm weather training, maybe somewhere like Portugal, or altitude training in somewhere like Font-Romeu or Flagstaff, and instead, like the rest of us, they've been really stuck a lot closer to home, or a lot of clock watching from these guys. They must be getting near the end, and let's hope those guys with the cameras on the bikes are helping them get the extra last bit out of every bit of effort. And as I said, when these guys finish, they'll be passing off to the 500 meter legs. See Tom Marshall, that's a nice simple corner for Tom Marshall there, a lot nicer to see. And it looks like we've got Tom Marshall's passed over first with a 5:15 for his 2K. That is really, really impressive. And Tom Marshall has passed over to David Locke from Cardiff AC, and he'll be running the 500 leg for Team Thie. So next we see who hands over next. Look at Mike Ward, there you go, for Birmingham Track Elite. He's passed over to Patch Taylor to run his 500 leg. So we've just got the LD crew left over to pass over from Alex Brown into Kieran Headley. See, quite a lit. There we go. There we've got the LD crew passing over to Kieran Headley for his 500 leg. So these guys, this is some serious pace these guys are going to be going at, and some confused pedestrians looking at Patch Taylor, wondering what he's doing this morning, sprinting around the roads. But what a great leg. We've got Patch Taylor, the Scottish senior champion, thrashing it out on the roads in Dorridge. And we've got David Locke at Cardiff AC, who narrowly beat Patch in the Manchester International last summer, going round an industrial estate in Wales, and Kieran Headley from Morpeth, again, just hammering it round. So we can see Kieran Headley here wearing a cap. Rumour has it lockdown has not been great to his hair. Let's hope it's better for running today. So there we've got Team Thie passing off first. We've got over to Matty Williams for a 1K leg. So we can see Team Thie there, about I think it's a 12-second lead over BTE. So then we have Patch Taylor passing off to Mike Pearce to run their 1K leg. So we now still just have Kieran left to hand over to Mike Wilson for the 1K leg for the LD crew. So there we see that every little bit for Kieran Headley pushing himself to the line. We've got Mike Wilson heading off the LD crew. So first to hand over was Matty Williams for Team Thie. You can see some beautiful countryside for Matty Williams here. He has chosen to do his leg, well, probably not chosen because he can only go 5 miles from his house, but his leg is happening on the Pembrokeshire coast. Doesn't it look beautiful? Wonder if it's a little bit windy out there, whether that's going to cost Matty anything today, but he is an established Welsh international. Great winter representing Cardiff Met with a top 30 at the Bucks Cross Country. Let's hope he can convert that strong winter form into some sort of form for this race today. He's already run fantastic PBs over 1K and the mile in the British Milers Club virtual events this summer already. But that looks like a beautiful venue Matty Wilson's chosen there today. So back up to Mark Pearce for Birmingham Track Elite. Mark is a steeplechase specialist. This is a little bit short for him today. But Mark had a fantastic 2019. He made his GB debut in the World University Championships alongside the man we've got in the upper right-hand corner, Mike Wilson. These guys are both Birmingham University alumni and had a fantastic summer out in Naples representing GB at the World Students, with Mark for Birmingham Track Elite taking 7th in the steeplechase and Mike Wilson taking 5th in the 1500. What a great run from those guys. So a bit more about Mike Wilson for you. He started out at Birmingham University, went and spent some time in New Mexico, and got great breakthrough with the 5th place at the World Universities, and he's really transitioned well from the NCA system back into the UK with the LD crew. He's going straight from strength. Look at him negotiating that massive lorry. Nothing can bother this guy today. He's really doing fantastic. So these guys are going to really push themselves, see how fast they can run a 1K in before they hand off to their final runners for a 4K leg. So we've got Team Thie did initially have a lead of 12 seconds. So we'll see how they're going. And there they are. That's Team Thie off with handing off to Ian Thomas. So Matty Williams handing off to Ian Thomas for his closing leg of 4K. Next, we did have Birmingham Track Elite. Let's see if they've held on to that second place. There we go. We've got Birmingham Track Elite. Mark Pearce handing over to Jonny Davis. They have 14 seconds behind Team Thie. And now Mike Wilson just getting every little bit out of himself before he hands over to Carl Smith for their final leg for the LD crew. There we go, Carl Smith off on his final leg. So at the moment, we've got the LD crew 17 seconds behind Birmingham Track Elite and a total of 31 seconds behind Team Thie. So those are the fast and furious legs. And now perhaps we can settle down a bit into a 4K leg and see how these guys can get off on this. This leg, 4K leg, was decided by the groups and their coaches because they really felt this was the correct thing for these guys at this time to help motivate them to train. Some workers getting overtaken by Ian Thomas. They would love to know what they're saying right now. Probably very confused. So far, other than Tom Marshall with that traffic on his leg, these guys seem to have been pretty lucky. So let's hope we can just get through this next 10 minutes of running. These guys can have a nice smooth run out. What looks like great weather for these guys, and we saw the Team Ingebrigtsen versus Team Chariot challenge at the Impossible Games 10 days ago. This looks like much more even weather conditions than we saw there, and as far as we're aware, not the same altitude differences that they had. So back to the runners, we've got Ian Thomas for Team Thie. As we had with Marky P, Ian is a steeplechase specialist and a real seasoned GB representative over that. He's gone to World Championships, European Championships, and then Commonwealth Games with Wales as well. And I'm sure he was one of the athletes we were watching today that really would have been hoping to add Olympic Games to that resume today in what should have been the Manchester British Championships. I think 4K is quite interesting when you consider a steeplechaser. Could that potentially be the best distance for a steeplechaser, much like you might say a 600 metres is good for a 400 metre hurdler. But Ian looks like he's clipping off really well. As with some of his teammates, Ian's been pretty active in this virtual season. He's run a 4:10 at the Bannister Mile and an unofficial PB at the Welsh Athletics 5K virtual championships with a 13:53. So all indicates his training's been going really well in lockdown. So he's chosen to do this leg. It's 10 miles outside Cardiff, the same venue as Tom Marshall. Again, just looks like a pretty good industrial estate. But as with Tom Marshall, let's hope there's not those cars around the corner and Ian can get round all right today. So for BTE, we've got Jonny Davis from Reading AC. Johnny's got some pretty impressive PBs. He ran a 750 indoors to get himself to the World Indoor Championships in Birmingham. A particularly fast car whizzing past him there. Probably not the funnest thing for Jonny then. Johnny's also got a 13:23 5K PB from 2016. He's a European Under-23 cross-country champion and European mixed relay champion, as was Tom Marshall. But Jonny Davis was in that team from 2019, bringing home a fabulous gold on the anchor leg for them. So it's fun to see him on the anchor leg again today. Jonny also won the British Indoor 3,000 metres in Glasgow in February, and just really good signs that he was on track to have a brilliant season. And like many of these athletes, just not able to capitalise on that. But great to see him out today. Jonny is notorious for raising his game as a racer, and it's going to be interesting to see whether that translates into a virtual race. It's one thing when you're lining up against people, you can get the adrenaline going, and it's quite another when you're out there on your own. But he's got Ollie Armstrong doing a cracking job with the videoing on the race on the bike, and all his teammates out cheering him on. So over to the upper left-hand corner, we've got Carl Smith. He is our 5th and final BUAC alumni. We are spoilt for choice with Birmingham alumni today. Carl is, you could perhaps say, a cross-country specialist with 3 top 10 finishes in the Northern Cross Country and a fantastic victory in the Bucks B race. The much coveted B race is that's quite a cool title to have. And Carl unfortunately missed much of 2019 with injury, but reports are he's coming back into form really, really well. If we look, Carl seems to have chosen a really nice route. We saw a couple of sort of bus going past him and stuff like that, but he doesn't seem to be too bothered. This is another industrial estate, I think 4 miles north of Newcastle, but looks like a good choice from Carl. So these athletes, they're rounding up on the halfway point of this race, and we might be able to have an indication of whether Team Thie have held on to this lead and whether any of the other placings have changed much. The guys are pretty smooth. 4K, this is tough. We expect these guys to be out there for 10, 12 minutes, and to do that concentrating on your own without any competitors is pretty hard, but hopefully they can use their imagination and know that they're each out there on the roads pushing themselves. So we got halfway, Ian Thomas through halfway, a cumulative time of 14:14, but an individual 2K split of 5:23, which would have got him second place in the 2K leg of this relay. So he would only have been beaten by his teammate Tom Marshall. So he's moving pretty fast, but is it too fast? We'll have to see. Has Ian paced himself? Hasn't paced himself well? Can he maintain that? Running on those double yellow lines, trying to stay out of the way of the car. He looks pretty smooth, but let's see if he can carry on that pace. So here we've got Jonny Davis coming through halfway. He has split 5:46 there for his halfway. So early indications are Ian has extended that lead for Team Thie from 14 seconds to 37 seconds. But like we said, has Ian gone too fast, or is that him really stamping down his authority? So then we've got Carl through halfway with 5:44 for his halfway. So he has actually clawed back 2 seconds on Jonny Davis. This is it's particularly unique. These guys running on their own, they don't have this information. They're just trying to run as hard as they can. They might have some splits on their watch. They're going to have feedback from their coaches and their teammates, but they don't really know what their competitors are doing. So yeah, really real mental and physical test for these guys today. So I just want to take a bit of time to talk about the groups that we've got represented today. So this event was really the brainchild of Birmingham Track Elite. They're a Birmingham-based group, and it really does what it says on the tin. They can often be training alongside the University Athletics Club, Birmingham University Athletics Club, under the watchful eye of former GB steeplechaser turned head coach Luke Gunn. They felt they really wanted something to sort of galvanise their training and motivate them going forward, and this was their idea, and it's been just great to see Team Thie and the LD crew rise to the challenge and put on this entertainment for us today. So we've got, Team Thie. This is a team that is absolutely jam-packed with Welsh internationals. It continues to grow in stature and reputation under the watchful eye of international miler and the pride of Wales, James Thie. They really just always see them out on the races, whether it be for Welsh titles or just around the British circuit in general, and then always performing well. And we come on to the LD crew. The LD crew are based in the northeast. They are named after profoundly well-respected coach Lindsay Dunn, who sadly passed away in March. Lindsay was coaching numerous GB and international medalists over the past 50 years and had a massive passion for coaching athletes of all levels, and was just a huge part of the athletics community in the northeast. Coach Nathan Shrub is doing his very best to step into some big shoes there, and him and the squad are really working hard to continue Lindsay's legacy. And some nice words from Nathan this week, just saying he thinks Lindsay would have really enjoyed the idea of this, and so hopefully the lads are having fun out there, kind of honouring Lindsay as well. So if we go back to the action, it all look like they're moving really well. From our estimations, we've probably got about 2 minutes left in this race, so it'd be interesting to see whether Team Thie have held on to their lead, whether Ian went off too fast, whether he's slowing down a bit, whether Jonny Davis's 5k strength can really bring him through, and just great to see Carl Smith come back from an injury-ridden year to be looking really, really strong. It's just great to see the lads getting out there. Like we say, it's oh no, disaster for Ian. Oh, that was good. But this is many people listening on this call that have been trying to find good places to train during lockdown when we haven't got the tracks and we haven't got the places we've been used to, and it's almost flipped on its head. Where you might have a quiet park that you normally train with during lockdown at the moment, that's going to be heaving. So instead you're looking over to these sort of industrial type venues that we see with Team Thie and the LD crew to try and find something alternative. But like I said, we've probably got maybe a couple of minutes left, and I'm not sure on this choice from Ian Thomas and Tom Marshall here. This was brutal. I mean, we saw Tom Marshall turn in the fastest leg on the 2K leg, so maybe I'm wrong, but it looks a little bit hairy for me. But these guys just pushing to get every little bit out of themselves in this last leg. And just to recap a little bit, like I said, we had the fastest leg from Tom Marshall in the 2K with a 5:14, followed by Mike Ward and Alex Brown. We had Patch Taylor and Kieran Headley tied for the fastest leg in the 500 metres with a 67, and Dave Locke for Team Thie with a 70. In the 1K leg, we had Matty Thompson of Team Thie with the fastest leg with 2:27, Mark Pearce from Birmingham Track Elite with 2:29, and Mike Wilson from LD Crew with a 2:30. And those guys all really tried to squeeze the most out of themselves to give these 4K runners the very best shot at this. Just a note on the British Milers Club, always providing fantastic opportunities for our endurance athletes, and it's just great that they've managed to do so even in this virtual period. They've put on a load of races that have just really helped our athletes stay focused and stay fit. So here we go, we can see Ian Thomas really nearing on this finish, trying to get absolutely everything out of himself. He doesn't know he has a huge lead, but we can confirm Ian Thomas has had a huge lead. He's come in there and completed the race for Team Thie with a 19:43. That's a 10:52 for Ian. It really held on to that early pace well and only slowed ever so slightly. And as you can see, they are done. And we've just got Birmingham Track Elite and LD Crew fighting out for second and third. It looks like Carl's really finishing strongly, and these lads really look like they're trying to get absolute most out of themselves, and I think it's going to be pretty close on the line. But just a big congratulations to Team Thie there. They've really got their tactics right, their location right, and obviously their training during lockdown to really come and show what they're made of, and take quite a big victory there. So here we go. I think, according to our calculations, we've just got a few seconds left for these guys. It's going to be pretty close. We've got Jonny Davis pushing all the way to the line, getting cheered on, and Carl Smith, as his coach says, just get every little bit out of himself in these last few seconds. And that was it. We had JD cross the line in 20:45 and Carl Smith for LD Crew on 20:47. Carl Smith has just made a massive improvement there to get the LD Crew within 2 seconds of Birmingham Track Elite, but they do still end up with third place. So to conclude, we had Team Thie in first place with 19:43, led home there by Ian Thomas, followed by Birmingham Track Elite, anchored by Jonny Davis in 20:45 to give Team Thie a victory by 1 minute and 2 seconds. Carl Smith getting absolutely everything he could out of that 4K leg to bring the LD Crew within 2 seconds of Birmingham Track Elite to conclude the event today. Thanks for joining us, and I hope you enjoyed it.